and welcome to Generation Alpha Podcast, sponsored by Tallerenaccion. I'm your host, Abril Carrillo, and today we'll be talking about wellness with the school counselor. She's a school counselor, like I said, a mother, a friend, and very funny, Miss Morales.
Hi, Miss Abril. Thank you so much for having me on.
Sorry. You're welcome. So is there why do we need school counselors in schools?
Well, I think, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about that today. It's kind of hard to find school counselors these days because we do so much. We do things from academics, right? Your grades, make sure you guys graduate or go to the next level, next grade, right? We take care of you when you're not in school. If you're missing too much school, we look into something called truancy. It's everything. If you're making up a class, we have to make sure that you're in that class and you pass that class. There's just a lot of things that go in academically with school counselors. And then there's the counseling aspect of it, which is my favorite, which is taking care of you guys and your mental health and your well-being, your mental health overall and your well-being.
So you help kids with their schoolwork, not help them, but you teach them to not be worried sometimes, and worries causes anxiety. So what's anxiety?
So I see, I could say we, but I see a lot of kids with a lot of things. They'll come in worried about things like a test or their grades, or they'll be worried about their home environment. Maybe they're not living in a safe place. They'll come in because, unfortunately, someone in their family passed away. They come in because they're just sad and they're hurting. They're feeling down, right? And a lot is going on right now with you guys too, between social media and all the stuff that you guys, all your extracurricular activities and everything that you guys are doing, right? Sometimes it's overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what we do. And obviously, yeah, anxiety isn't bad. I know, I don't know if you've watched that. I think you have. A lot of people have watched
Inside Out.
Inside Out too. Yeah.
I watched.
I'm dying to watch it. I haven't seen it because every time I see a meme or little pieces of it, I get kind of teary-eyed.
No.
But, anxiety is not bad. There's a moment where anxiety tells Joy that she's just trying to protect Riley. And there's that moment when Riley's having that panic attack, right? And then anxiety's going around in circles and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do, right? So anxiety isn't there to hurt you. It is there to protect you. It is like every other emotion that we have. Too much of it is not a good thing, right? Like too much chocolate candy or too much ice cream or too many brownies. That'll hurt your stomach. So too much anxiety is not good. A little bit of anxiety is good because if you think about it, when we were cavemen and cavewomen, we would go out hunting, right? And you had to have your fight and flight response, where if some saber-toothed tiger is coming to get you, you're like, uh-oh, and you have to run back, right?
Yeah.
Or when you finish hunting, you eat your food and then you're relaxed now, right? Whereas for us, because I guess the times we're living, everything is like, I gotta do this. What if? And this. And what if that? And what if? And that what if gets you in trouble a lot. So anxiety is tricky, and you just can't let it overwhelm you. Which, like in the movie, it shows it. Well, when anxiety took over the console, and she was having that panic attack, she took over all the other emotions, and that's when Riley had that panic attack.
So you say that a lot of kids experience anxiety, right? And anxiety is just there to protect them. So fear does the same thing, right? So basically anxiety and fear are brothers or cousins, right? Yeah.
I think, yeah, fear. I think anxiety and fear, they're best friends, and they create worry, and that's why we do the what ifs. Like, what if it's raining? Oh, what if a tornado comes? What if it gets flooded and my car can't go in the water? What if I can't get home? So you start creating these worries that become, it's called catastrophizing. And you make a little thing into this big thing. Right. And then obviously there's things that you could do about that. And a lot of the things you could do, which I could talk to you about that later, it's coping skills. But one of the things is self-talk, and you have to acknowledge, like the movie says, acknowledge your emotions and say, you know what? Stop. I'm anxious right now. I'm scared. It is raining, but if the streets get flooded, it's not like I'm going to be here forever stuck at school or something, right? Someone's going to come get me, or the water is going to recede. I'm okay. I'm safe here. So as long as yeah, I know, but it's hard. It's hard. It's something that, when you want to run a marathon, you train, right? You run and train and train and train.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You have to train your mind constantly.
Yeah. So, um, since since you gave that brief explanation about what anxiety is, I've heard a lot about depression. What is depression for kids and adults?
Well, so depression is it's how can I say? I was thinking about that today. There's so many different types of depressions. There's major depression. There's hypomania. There's things that bipolar 1, bipolar 2. I mean, there's so many things in there, right? If we wanted to get specific, but depression is an extreme sadness. It's a sadness. It's in adults and in children, it's the same and it's not. So both adults and children, you're sad. You don't want to get up from bed. You stop doing the things that you love doing. You don't want to hang out with your friends. You stop eating. You don't take care of your hygiene. So no taking showers or brushing your teeth, right? And the only little difference is in children is that they exhibit aggressiveness and irritability, and sometimes it's because they don't know what's going on, so they lash out and they're angry. you know but that's what it is. It's an extreme form of sadness. We could say that it's an extreme form of sadness. And like I was saying with anxiety, it's okay to be sad. It's okay. Like when you're crying and someone says, "Oh, don't cry." No, cry. Crying is not bad. Crying actually releases endorphins that create happy hormones, right? So when you have an ugly cry and you're like, and then you're done crying, you feel so much like you're more like, okay, right? You fall
Yeah.
asleep or something, right? And that's, endorphins are, those happy hormones are like when you eat a piece of chocolate or like a really warm brownie with ice cream and it makes you happy, right? So, things like that. Crying isn't now crying every day for several periods during the day, like, in the morning and night, all the time. See, that's an extreme. And obviously, when you get to those extremes and that severity, whether it's depression or anxiety or anything else, that's when it's important to realize that you need help and you go seek help.
Well, so how do you take care of, like, how do you like build up your self-esteem, or how do you fix the anxiety, the depression? You know.
So, see, when you go to therapy, right? So when you have your therapist and you go to therapy, usually a person goes to therapy once a week for an hour, and you have this one person all to yourself, right? And when you're there, apart from all the questions they ask you and all the talking, right? There's something called coping skills. And so when people come to therapists, we are not there to fix your problem. We are there to help you help yourself. So, like that Bob the Builder guy, right? He has a tool belt with all those tools. So, the therapist, you walk in there, we have a toolbox. So, we open our toolbox based on what you're telling us. And we say, okay, well, these are coping skills that I can give to you. And then I give you these coping skills, right? And then you have to do them. And like I said about training, you have to train your mind so that whenever you have a negative thought or whenever you have a what if moment, You train your mind to go directly there. So there's this coping skill that it's breathing. I love breathing because breathing helps your brain say, hey, it's okay, everything's fine, you're gonna be okay. And something I use with the kids a lot is I use their hand because it's a good distraction, right, to use your hand. So when you go up, you breathe in deep through your nose, and then when you go down, you breathe out through your mouth, right? You want to try it?
Yeah.
Ready? All right. One more. You see how you're more like Zen. You're more Zen-like.
Yeah.
That's something that can help you, especially you're going to take a test, or you're going to go in for an audition, or you're going to go and you're going to meet somebody for the first time. You're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You tell because your brain's like, oh, and you're like, wait, I'm okay. So you breathe in. And then when you're having these intrusive thoughts are those crazy, thoughts in there that, oh, you're like, oh my gosh, and you start worrying about there's a tornado, but it's not, it's just sprinkling, right? You can stop that thought. And there's this cool one where it's numbers. And if you want, I could try that with you too.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so when I say go, you're going to say random numbers until I tell you to stop, okay? But before I say go, I want you to think about something that really, really worries you. So when you're ready, let me know.
Okay, then.
Okay, go.
4, 6, 2, 11, 29, 30, 34.
I bet you're not thinking about I bet you're not thinking about that thought
No,
anymore.
I'm not.
Because you're only thinking about numbers.
Yeah.
And that's like a cool game. It's almost like a game you're playing with your brain, right? Yeah, because you're thinking about that thought. It's making you worried. It's making you sad. It's making you anxious, right? And you're like 5, 38, 97, 40. And you keep saying it until you realize that all you're thinking about are numbers. And then you kind of laugh because it's just funny.
Oh, yeah. You guys, I'm having so much anxiety right now because you guys are not clicking subscribe. Go click the subscribe button right now, right?
100%. Let's do it.
Yeah. Cheer me, please. So, talking about bullying, I was in a campaign to stop bullying, and it's an Instagram if you want to check it out on my on my Instagram channel. Oh yeah, you guys should check that out too. Thank you. So, why do people bully each other?
Well, bullying is something, I know you've noticed that bullying is something that we've been talking a lot lately, right? It's out there. Everyone's talking about it, right? You guys are living in times now where, bullying is everywhere. The sad thing is that bullying has been around forever. The only thing is that when we were younger, and I'm saying me, when I was younger, bullying has always existed. But the thing is that we didn't talk about bullying and we didn't talk about mental health when we were your age. When I was younger, we didn't talk about that. It was taboo. There was a stigma behind it. And the cool thing is that I love that you're doing this because we're talking about mental health and we're giving it a light and we're giving bullying a light. Now, the thing with bullying is that words matter. So we always have to be careful with what we say, how we say it. And there's actually a saying that says, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And there's a difference between, at the beginning of the school year, I like talking to the students because I need them to know the difference between being mean and being a bully, right? So being mean is, so let's say you and I are in class and I pass by you and I see your pencil there and I kind of just hit it and it falls to the floor and I just keep walking, right? But I go to my desk, I sit there, but I don't bother you anymore. I don't talk to you. You have your friends. I have my friends. It only happened on Monday, right? And then on Tuesday, nothing. I just passed by you. Wednesday, passed by you. That's it. The only time I ever bothered you with your pencil was on Monday. So that's being mean. I was just being mean to you. I was being rude to you. Obviously, this is where hopefully someone tells an adult, right, and says, she just dropped my pencil, because it's rude. And that's, nobody wants to, put your pencil on the floor and have to grab your pencil from the floor, right? But that's being mean. Bullying is something that is constant. So let's say on Monday I threw your pencil on the floor, right? On Tuesday I come in, I kick your book bag. On Wednesday I see you at lunch and I make fun of your shirt. On Thursday I make fun of your shoes. On Friday I start a rumor in school about you. But then, the thing is that this is school. But what happens is that you guys have phones now and you have social media now. And then what happens on Monday in school, you take it home. And then there's people are texting and are making group chats, and someone is FaceTiming and you don't know that person in there, and they take a picture of you and now your picture became a meme, or they put it on Instagram. No, so it's an escalation, right? I mean, that's already a lot. But usually, what I tell the kids is, if you see something that is persistent, it's ongoing, it happens more than once, then that's bullying. And that we 100%, we have to address that, because like I said, it could escalate. And when it escalates, I mean, that's when things get serious. And there's, you got to call parents, you have to have conferences, unfortunately, sometimes even, you have to call authorities. It's a serious business, and schools are taking it very serious now. But it's important to know that, because sometimes kids don't know the difference between someone being mean and then someone being a bully.
Well, that's like really. But why do people bully each other? Like, what's the reason?
I don't know. There's just so many, people talk about it all the time, and there's so many reasons. There shouldn't be a reason, but a lot of, I guess we'll call it research states that, sometimes kids that are bullied, they have a very difficult home life, and they are bullied at home, so they bully somebody else, right? Because they need to get that out of their system too. Sometimes kids bully out of intimidation. They might see something in you that intimidates them, and they don't like it because they don't have it. And now they're jealous and there's envious, like Inside Out.
Yeah.
the envy.
I love that hair.
Uh, I mean, the cool thing is that movie has that movie is like, we should just teach it in school, right?
Yeah.
But that's what it is. So a lot of research states a lot of things. I mean, there's no, like I said, bullying has been around for a very long time. Someone will always come up and say, I don't even like your shirt. You don't look good in that shirt. And it's just because maybe they like the shirt, or maybe they get bullied at home, or maybe they've been bullied before. Maybe this student has, and then if you want to really get into the science, maybe the student has, conduct disorder or oppositional defiant disorder. And I know that's very technical, but there's a lot that goes into bullying. People don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to go bully somebody, At least I don't believe that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed our talk, and yeah.
I really enjoyed this too. You're awesome. I think that what you're doing is great. I think the fact that you're giving mental health a platform is super important, because I want you guys to, the more they say that knowledge is power. So the more you know, the better.
Yeah.
And that way you're equipped with your tools, right? So I really enjoyed it, and I'm so appreciative of the opportunity that you guys gave me. I really am. And it was so cool getting to meet you. That's why we were over 23 minutes, I think, right?
Yeah. So thank you. Do you want to say something to them?
Oh, to everyone, be kind. Be kind. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Kindness is a wonderful thing. It doesn't cost a thing. And we can really change someone's life. We really can. And when you have a chance, hug somebody. You never know who needs it.
Well, this has been such a wonderful time, and I hope I see you guys later. Bye!
Bye. Bye.